let's proceed. So the second type of incentive is ITA, right? So from the terms investments tax allowance. So the way where you can claim the incentive is something like the capital allowance, It's an investment allowance, investment allowance. So ITA you can only claim if you have incurred capital expenditure, qualifying capital expenditure. Yeah. So that is the difference. We'll look at the example later on. Okay, the eligibility is the same as pioneer status. First, the company must be involved, right, in promoted activity, right, or promoted products, right. Okay, so like I said, the pioneer status and ITA, you can only choose one of it. Therefore, we say ITA is mutually exclusive with PS, means you cannot take both, right? Either one. Let's say, for example, let's say you apply for, let's say, pioneer status, right? Then you got it. Then you start claiming the pioneer status, let's say, for 2 years. Altogether, you can get tax relief 5 years, right? So you claim PS for 2 years already. Then after that, in third year, before third year start, you decide, hey, I want to change to ITA. Can or not? Can or not? Can. You can switch, right? You can switch it to the ITA. So that means you apply ITA in the coming next 3 years, right? Yeah. So vice versa. Alright, say in the first few years you started off with ITA, then you decide you want to switch to PS, can, alright? So, but you cannot enjoy two incentives together at the same time, no, right? Okay, so when would normally a person apply for ITA? So is it ITA is preferable when the projects which are having high capital intensive. That means, as I mentioned, the ITA only will be more tax beneficial when the person incurred higher qualifying capital expenditure. That means a person incurred huge amount to purchase the plant and machinery, alright, or building used for manufacturing, let's say factory. That means as the investments amount, see the terms of investment. So your allowance, whatever relief that you can claim, tagged to your investment amount. The higher the investments in the qualifying capex, then the more allowance you can claim. So you look at later we'll look at how a person can claim for ITA, then you understand what it means. Alright. So ITA is more preferable when the projects or promoted products require high capital investments, and normally when there are large profits, right, are not expected in the short run. Right. So this is when choice of ITA is made. But then normally what we'll do is we still have to calculate, like what we have discussed just now. We need to calculate what is the tax savings, right, under the ITA scenario compared to PS scenario. Then only we make a decision, right? Okay, so similarly to PS, ITA is given on qualifying capex incurred. So the more the qualifying capex incurred, the more ITA can be claimed, right? And also it's claimed the tax relief is also 5 years, alright? Okay. Same thing with pioneer status. It works on the 5 years. Then later on, once the 5 years lapse, then the person can apply for an extension depending on the approval. Right? Okay, so how do a person claim ITA? So it's an allowance. See, the ITA is claimed based on normal rate or standard rate, 60% on the qualifying capex. So your qualifying cost, let's say 100,000. Your ITA that you can claim will be 60,000, right? So the more the person spend on the qualifying capex, then the higher the ITA. So that's how it works. But every year, the person can only claim up to 70% of stat income. There is a limit. So every year, you can only claim ITA up to 70% of stat income. Whatever that's not utilized, something like capital allowance. Whatever ITA amount that has not been utilized in that year, you can carry forward. Alright, okay, you can carry forward. So we'll look at the example later on. Alright, you can even, if you look at it, any unutilized or unabsorbed ITA, it can be carried forward to subsequent periods. Alright, and even if it's not used up, you can also use it even after the expiry of the 5 years relief periods. Right? Because it's based on the actual qualifying capex that the person incurred, right? Yeah. Okay. So standard rate is 60%, but there are, if let's say the manufacturing plant or the activities are located in promoted area, similar to PS, if it's located in promoted areas, then the exemption will be 100% full amount of the qualifying capex incurred. So if you spend 100,000 qualifying capex, then you claim 100,000 ITA, and you claim it against 100% of the statutory income. See the difference? 60 normal rate 60% on QPEX qualifying capex versus 100%, and up to maximum 70% of SI compared to 100% of SI. So later we will look at the calculation. Okay, so like I said, ITA is similar to capital allowance the way we claim. So therefore the ITA also may be withdrawn when the disposal, let's say assuming that you have purchased the qualifying item, or plant and machinery. If this plant and machinery is disposed within 5 years from date of acquisition, then the ITA claim all will be withdrawn, clawback. Alright, okay. So this is the concept. Now we'll look at the calculation. Okay, using the same examples, we'll look at calculation for ITA. Alright, so first of all, you need to estimate the adjusted income or losses over the 5 years period. Right, then machinery, this is qualifying capex, right, because you are using machines for the production purpose, right, to manufacture the promoted products. So 200,000 is spent. Okay, so if you look at this example, right, what is the amount of ITA? Standard rate, what is the amount of ITA that can be claimed? 60% times 200,000. Right, the actual amount of the qualifying capex is 200,000, then you times 60% standard rate. So therefore 120,000, right, of ITA can be claimed. Then how are you to claim that? Over the 5 years period, up to maximum 70% of SI, based on that concept. So we look at the calculation. So just now we've done on PS, now we look at ITA. So from all the way down of calculation to stat income, alright, remains the same, alright, no changes, right? Whether you are working on PS or you're working on ITA, it's still the same one, because your capital allowance amount is the same, right? Yeah, okay. Only here it will be different, Alright, so if you look at year 1, right, stat income is 0. So you cannot claim any ITA, right? Despite the fact that the qualifying asset was incurred in year 1, in 20x1, right? If you go back to the example, see your qualifying asset was incurred in 20x1. So despite the fact that, the expenditure is incurred in year 1, but because adjusted, your stat income is 0, right here, stat income is 0, so you cannot claim any ITA in first year. So what happened to the ITA? ITA will be carried forward. Yeah, right? Your qualifying capex is 200,000, right? So ITA amount is 60%, so 120,000. So this 120,000, year 1 you cannot claim because stat income is 0, so you carry forward the full amount to next year. Okay? Okay, comes year 2. The stat income is 4,000, right? You can claim ITA or not? Can, but up to maximum 70% of SI. Got it? So therefore you look at it, the exempted amount, right? the exempted amount of your SI is 70%, which is 2008. So meaning to say, out of that ITA 120,000, you already claimed 2008 in year 2. Are you okay? So how much to be carried forward? 117,200, the balance. Can? Right, okay. So this 117,200 will be carried forward to third year. Where comes third year, the stat income is 172,000. Okay, you times 70,000, 70%, what is the value? Your stat income is 172,000, right? You times 70%. What is the value? 400. Okay. So 70% of that 172,000, the SI will give you 120,400. So do you claim 120,400? Cannot, right? Because it's more than your eligible ITA, cannot. Meaning to say, the full amount ITA which was carried forward or brought forward from last year, you claim in full. Follow? Right? Yeah. So finish. No more ITA really. Follow? So within the 2 years, right, year 2 and year 3, you fully claim the ITA amount. So in year 4, there's no ITA left behind to claim. See? So therefore, if you have stat income 272,000, the full amount is taxable. Similarly, in year 5, there's no relief to be claimed, right? Because the ITA already used up. Alright? Okay, what is the tax savings based on ITA method? Calculate. Then after that, decide which option is more preferable based on this forecast. This projected value, right? So which method that you should advise, which incentive that you should advise DEF to apply for? PS or ITA? PS. So what's the tax savings based on ITA? Have you calculated? Right? Which is the ITA amount? 120K times the tax rate, 24% for company. So the tax saving is only 28,800. Correct or not? Right? So compare with the tax savings under PS method. So of course, PS method, you see, you save 137,760, right? So higher tax savings by more than 100,000, right? If you were to apply for PS. So therefore, based on the question, so we would advise DEF to apply for PS method. Alright. Are you okay? Alright. So in summary, let's say before you calculate, do a calculation, in summary, how do you advise a person? Under what circumstances you would choose pioneer status? Under what circumstances that you would advise the person to choose in general, under what circumstances you would apply the person to choose for PS method? In general, under two scenarios, right? First, projected adjusted income, right? Projected income, if it's higher, right? Then one more, capital investment is lower, right? Okay. So under these two circumstances, pioneer status will be more preferable, right? And vice versa. When do you request or suggest a person to claim for ITA then? The other way around, right? Capital investment is higher, right? Relatively higher. And then the projected income is relatively lower, right? So in general, then ITA will be more preferred. So if you look at this question, you see adjusted income is so high, right? 100, 200, 3, 4. Then but the investments in qualified asset is only 200, right? So generally, but then of course you need to prove it. Then you calculate, do the calculations, right? Yeah, that's what you have discussed. Then after that, compare by the tax savings, all right? Yeah, of the two methods. Then that is where, right, you advise which method to choose. Okay. Any question on the PS and ITA? So PS and ITA is granted under the Promotion of Investments Act, PIA, right? Okay, then if nothing, then we'll look at investments incentive, right, for an existing activity, not a new activity. So I say PS and ITA is for new promoted activity or new promoted products, newly, new ones. So reinvestment allowance is for existing activities or existing products. So if you look at the conditions, is that a person can only claim reinvestment allowance only if the business has operated for at least 36 months, 3 years and above. See, it's on for existing business. And this reinvestment allowance is incentive granted under ITA, not PIA, Income Tax Act. Yeah, right. So under what circumstances a person can claim for RA? We call reinvestment allowance RA. Reinvest, see that? Reinvest, right? So meaning the person have in the business operation for at least 3 years, 36 months. Then thereafter the person decide, oh, maybe I want to expand my business, right? Expand my manufacturing plant from one plant to second plants, yeah? So it applies to a person under the expansion program, all right? Or modernizations, automating. That means previously the manufacturing plant is all manual or labor intensive. So now the company decide, all right, to convert to automation. So when you want to convert labor intensive to automations, then you have to buy machines, right now. So that is where you reinvest, yeah. So you claim RA, all right. What else? Diversifying, yeah. So these are the 3 scenarios whereby RA may be claimable, yeah. Diversifying, but must be within the same industry, yeah. Alright, whether you're talking about, let's say for example, currently the company, let's say manufacturing, let's say furniture tables, yeah. So diversified, manufacturing, let's say chairs, office tables. So but within the same industry, right? Still the furniture industries, right? Yeah. Okay. So diversity. So these are the 3 situations whereby RA, alright, is eligible, Okay, so how does RA works? If you look at claim of RA, isn't it similar to ITA? You claim based on 60% of the qualifying capex. It's the same thing as in like if you incur qualifying capex, then you can only claim RA on it. So 60%. So if you incur 100,000, then you claim 60,000 RA. The way RA works is similar to ITA. Okay, right? So, and how long can you apply for the RA? 15 years of assessment, 15 years. Over the 15 years, if you incur additional reinvestment, you claim within the 15 years, yeah? All right. So, same thing, when you claim RA, it is knocked off or deduct against 70% of the stock income. See, the concept is the same as ITA, all right? Just that the eligibility rule is different, yeah, all right? But however, the company would not be able to claim for RA if the assets are purchased from related company. So we say that RA is given and it is applied on qualifying capex, cannot. So this capex must be purchased from a third party, not through a related companies, in order to claim RA, right? Yeah. So again, RA is withdrawn, right, if the assets are disposed of within 5 years, right? Same with the ITA, right? Okay, let's. So before we look at the exercise, these are some of the promoted, alright, areas and activities. Remember just now we said, if the activities or products are located in promoted areas, then there are additional incentive, right? So like pioneer status, you can claim relief up to 100% of SI, right? ITA also 100%, alright? So different promoted areas, the type of products also different. So like for example, if you look at Iskandar, Malaysia, yeah, so those who stay in JB area, so you will know where is Iskandar, right? So that areas, the promoted products are like electronics, right? Tourism, healthcare services. I think there are some hospitals there, and then there are universities there as well, right? So that is where we promote education services, right? I think there's one Southern University, I think, in that Iskandar, right? Those of you who stay in JB, you will know, right? Yeah. I think Reading University also somewhere there. Yeah, so that area there will be a lot of universities, hospitals, banks, yeah, right. So sometimes you will notice in one certain area there are so many universities, healthcare services, right? Then this link you to these are the promoted activities that the government is trying to promote in that area. Yeah. Okay, then in Northern Corridor, so not the whole part of Perlis or Kedah, selected, alright, yeah, certain designated area, yeah, in Penang, Northern Perak, right? So the promoted products will be some of these agricultural manufacturing and so on, yeah. So then we have East Coast region. So you also will see designated areas in Kelantan, Terengganu, Pahang, Mersing, alright, for this kind of activities. And then we have MSC area, KL Central, Mid Valley, where they talk about the ICT just now, right? Yeah, cyber centers, right? And so these are you see the type of industries are different, right? If you look at those promoted areas, the type of industries are very much different compared to, right, one promoted area compared to the others, huh? All right. Alright, so like I said, beginning just now, I have given you some additional notes on what other incentives, alright, that certain industries can get. For example, right, PS, right, ITA, double deductions, accelerated capital allowance, claim, and so on. Yeah? So these are given as additional notes, right? So you are advised to go through. As I said, not only 6. Right, for this module, there are 6 industries that we are concerned of, but of course there are more than that now, alright, in practice. Yeah. Alright, but then we'll use those additional materials to apply into certain questions, huh? Alright. Okay. We'll try some exercise now. Alright, let's do this one first. This is the second question, huh? Because first questions you need to refer to the additional notes. How many of you bring the additional notes? That's why I put this one first. Okay, do this question first. The second questions later you do it as homework. We'll discuss next class. Next class means this Wednesday. Huh? We have a replacement lecture class. Huh? Right. So today we'll do this one first. Huh? Okay, come. Right, so if you look at these questions, first is PS or ITA eligible for Excel Sdn Bhd? PS pioneer status or ITA eligible for Excel Sdn Bhd? Yes or no? No, right? Because this is not a new investment, clear or not? Right? And given that textiles in this case may not be a promoted product, right? Yeah. So, but look at it. This is not a new product. Huh? This is a existing business activity. All right. So, PS, ITA, not applicable. How about RA? Is RA applicable? Okay, look at the condition. Has the business operated in the past 3 years, 36 months, before it incurred additional capex? Yes or no? Yes, right? If you look at it, the XL Sdn Bhd involved in that activity since 2001. Then in 2008, it invests blah blah blah. So that means, alright, about 7 years. So it's more than 36 months. So first condition, right? So the 36 months threshold fulfilled. What other condition must you look at before RA is eligible to be claimed? What's the purpose of purchasing the qualifying capex? For what purpose? Remember 3 purpose, right? Expansion, modernizing, what else? Diversifying. So what is the purpose of the new qualifying assets? Expansions. See that? Alright. So if you look at it, so if there are 2 parts of capex being incurred, right? One is in July 2008, then subsequently 10 years later, 2018. So another batch of assets was incurred. Huh? Alright. So you look at the first batch. Which one of these qualify for RA? Replacement of an old worn-out machines. Is this qualified? No, right? Because if the worn-out machines means you're going to use it based on the existing plant, right? The machines used in the existing plant have worn out, so you buy a new one to replace it. So this is not going to use it onto the expanded plant. Huh? So this is not qualified for RA, right? But it will qualify for normal CA. Right now, can you see that? Right? And machines and qualifying assets will still be eligible for CA. Alright, that's the basic things that you can claim. On top of that, then you see whether it eligible for RA or not. Yeah? So the first machines, the worn-out machines, will only be applicable for CA but not RA, right? How about the second one? 3 new production lines. Production capacity will increase to 500,000. Isn't this related to the expansion? Yes, right? So these 3 new production lines, 500,000, is eligible for RA. Yeah? Are you following? So first you identify what kind of incentive the persons can get. Then after that, based on the list of items, then you check which one is eligible. Yeah? Alright. Only those assets directly related to the expansion. In this case, because of expansion, the purpose of expansion. So machineries or qualified asset directly related to the expansions will be qualified for RA. Huh? Okay, office equipment. No, right? Not qualified for RA, but you still can claim CA as usual. Huh? Follow? Okay, then second, in the financial year ended 31st July 2018, it invested into a new building, some new building. Okay, so is this asset qualified? Okay, you look at the years. Is it within the qualifying years to claim RA? RA can be claimed over how many years? 15 year of assessment, right? Based on the concept, right? If you go back to the concept. How long can a person can claim RA? Up to 15 consecutive YS, right? So based on these questions, is it still within 15 years? So the year in which the company first claimed RA is which year? 2008. So now 2018, how many years? 10 years. Okay, now can claim RA? Can. Huh? So long is still within that 15 years, right? Yeah. Okay. So, okay. Then after that, you look at the type of expenditure. First, phase 1, the factory is 3 million completed and in use. Is this eligible for RA? Factory. Is factory a qualifying asset? Is it industrial building? Yes, right? So this will be also qualified for RA as well as IPA. The normal capital allowance plus RA. Number 2, phase 2 of the factory cost, 300,000. Is this qualifying? WIP means not completed yet. If not completed means not used in the manufacturing business. So can you claim CA? You can't. So can you claim RA? You can't as well. Right? Yeah. It's only must be completed and in use. This is very important. In use. You must have used it in the business operation. Then only you can claim for, right, the allowance, right? Be it capital allowance or RA. Okay, office building, 150,000 out, right? This is not directly related to the manufacturing operations. Even then, if you look at it, office building, all right, also not eligible. It's not an industrial building, right? Right? So can? So. Right, and so this one is normal capital allowance, schedule 3 of the ITA. This is claiming normal CA, right? Then additional on to that RA, only 2 types of asset is eligible for RA. The production lines, the new production line, and the factory phase 1. So RA will be 60%, apply the standard rate, times the qualifying cost, 3.5 million. So RA will be 2.1 million. Okay, so for those questions on incentive, so make sure you check on the criteria first, alright? You must check whether the criteria fulfill or not before you straight zoom into the incentive, right? Okay, so beware of, right, the conditions, alright? So replacement machinery, the new production lines, office equipment, phase 1 factory, this still can claim normal capital allowance, IAAA. And of that 4, 2 of them qualify for RA. Right, so RA, you apply the standard rate, 60%. Okay, any question? Alright. So next question we'll discuss homework. Homework. Oh, what? No homework. I say homework, you're so excited. Upset or excited? Okay. This will be your homework. Alright. You base on the additional materials that I post into the Moodle. Use that and do this. I think these questions I took from one of the past years. Yep. Right, I took from one of the past years. So you do this one. Alright, okay. Alright, so that's all for today. I see you on Wednesday. Wednesday on the replacement class. So Wednesday we'll